All right, Larry Krueger down here at Levi's recapping Thursday 49er practice down here in Santa Clara, and we're brought to you by Mojo Fantasy, the sponsor of today's video. Check the link in the description and use the promo code KRUEG, K-R-U-E-G, and get up to $100 matched on your first deposit. All right, let's talk about what happened today down here in Santa Clara. Niners practice, we were out there on the field. Niners getting ready for the Rams at SoFi on Sunday. Dre Greenlaw did participate in practice today. He had a groin injury yesterday that prevented him from practicing today. He was back out there. The only guy I didn't see out there was Samuel Womack. Womack battling a knee injury. I think Womack's going to wind up going on Sunday, but he wasn't practicing today. Now, the Niners on Sunday will be wearing their red jerseys. The Rams will be wearing their white jerseys. And according to a number of the ticket outlets, expect the place to be about 65% 49ers fans, and the balance will be Rams fans, but it should be about a crowd that's over 60-40 in rooting for the 49ers. Now, we're also going to see the first of its kind, Matthew Stafford, who's a former first pick overall, going against Brock Purdy. It's the first game in the history of the NFL between a guy who went first in Stafford and a guy who went last as Mr. Irrelevant in Purdy. Wouldn't it be interesting if Purdy and the Niners wind up getting the win in this matchup? The Niners are 13-1, by the way, with Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey scored 14 touchdowns in those 14 games. Today he was named FedEx Ground NFL Player of the Week. His last game against the Rams came in Week 8 last year. He had 183 all-purpose yards and 3 touchdowns. He had one rushing. He had one running. Rushing, receiving, and throwing. Remember, he threw a touchdown pass in that game as well. It was interesting today. I read Jeff Garcia's account of Brock Purdy. This is what Garcia, the former Niner quarterback, says about Purdy. He says he understands timing and he understands the game. He has a knack for playing the position, both mentally and physically. I love watching him play, the intelligence and the natural reactions. So there's Garcia, who's a very cerebral quarterback in his own right, with some thoughts on Brock Purdy. Now, the Niners were number 1 in the NFL last week in the percentage of shifts and motions. The Niners had a pre-snap shifts on 82.3% of the snaps in Pittsburgh. The Miami Dolphins, with Mike McDaniel as the head coach, a disciple of Kyle Shanahan's, not surprisingly, were second on that list. The Niners have won 8 straight regular season games against the Rams. And, we'll see if they can make it 9. Now, of course, the Rams got the one that mattered in the NFC Championship game, but the Niners in the regular season have won 8 in a row against the Rams. A key matchup to watch this weekend is Aaron Donald going up against Spencer Burford. Last year against the Rams, in the last matchup, Burford only played 32 snaps. He gave up one quarterback pressure and one quarterback hit. So to me, he doesn't have Daniel Brunskill there to share the time. Brunskill always had a lot of success against Donald. If Spencer Burford can handle Aaron Donald on Sunday, the 49ers are going to have a great chance to win the game. Also, one other thing to note, Brandon Ayuk today was named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Ayuk was spectacular. 8 targets, 8 catches, 229 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was fantastic. He cooked Patrick Peterson twice. Maybe the play of the day was Ayuk's catch on the goal line from Purdy with Peterson draped all over him. And the 49ers on a transaction front did work out a quarterback this week. They worked out Ian Book, the former Notre Dame quarterback. Book did sign with the New England Patriots on Wednesday, and the 49ers did work out 3 wide receivers this week, including ex-Seahawk Freddie Swain. No announcement on if they're going to sign any of those guys, but the 3 wide receivers did work out earlier today. As far as the rest of the day, we are going to now talk to Steve Wilks after practice, Niners defensive coordinator. I'm eager to ask Wilks a little bit about Tutu Atwell and Puka Nacua, the 2 young receivers the Rams have. Atwell's a young receiver. Nakua's a rookie. different type receivers, but I'm interested to see what Wilks says about how the Niners will go about defending those two guys. Chris Forster is going to stop by as well, the Niner offensive line coach. I'm eager to ask Forster a little bit about Aaron Donald and the Burford matchup, and how he sees the way Colton McKivitz played week 1 against TJ Watt. We're also going to get a chance to hear from Brock Purdy, and I'd like to ask Brock Purdy about the blitz that Minkah Fitzpatrick put on him, that he spun away from and found Deebo Samuel down the field for a first down. I thought that was a really interesting play. Purdy had commented earlier in the week about how Minkah is really good at reading the quarterback's eyes, and yet Purdy deked him there. And I'm kind of eager to find out if Brock, looked at him when he saw him off the edge, or if he intentionally tried not to look at him so that he could spin to his left away from Minkah, buy himself extra time. It totally deked Minkah, and it gave Purdy that extra time to find Deebo, which he did for the first down. I thought it was one of the plays of the game. I'm eager to ask Brock about that. And then we'll go into the locker room and we'll talk to whoever's standing around, and we'll get their perspective on the win over the Steelers and look ahead to the game coming up Sunday against the Rams. Niners-Rams in LA. It's a great matchup. The Niners almost treat it like a home game in that, maybe 70% of the crowd is going to be rooting for the Niners on Sunday. So it's a unique circumstance. It'll be interesting if Matthew Stafford has to go with the silent count at home, something that quarterbacks almost never have to do at home, but it's something to look for in this game for sure. And we're eager to see, once again, how the Niners look against the Rams coming up on Sunday. Once again, this video brought to you by Mojo Fantasy, the sponsor of today's video. Check the link in the description and use that promo code KRUEG, KRUEG, to get up to $100 matched on your first deposit. Thanks for watching the Krug Show. Thanks to Mojo Fantasy for sponsoring, and thanks to all you guys for following the Krug Show on YouTube.